is there a team that you're expecting to surprise a bit? Like West Ham for the last couple of seasons for me, as someone that's from East London, and I've always remembered West Ham as being a team flirting with relegation. They've surprised me. I think their recruitment's been really good as well. Is there any other team, maybe West Ham, that you think?
Yeah, that probably would have been my pick, to be fair. Because I think the only thing that let them down the last couple of seasons, I think, was the squad was light.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have the budget like the others. They went deep in a few competitions, which gave them a lot more fixtures. Then obviously they had the Europa League, which have got to the semis, so there's a lot of more games.
Romford was empty.
Yeah.
Everyone was there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just think now that they have got a few more legs in there, a few more names, then hopefully they can sustain it. Because pretty much in the last 2 years, they've been floating around 4th, 5th and 6th the whole season, just until the last few months. So I think they could be the surprise package.
Yeah, I think what David Moyes has done with them is incredible.
Yeah.
And now, as you say, I mean, there was a time when it was only Antonio up front. Now they've got bodies around him. Jared Bowen, Ben Rama, Scamacca. Wait to see what he can do. Cornet's come from Burnley. They've got players now.
Yeah.
And then obviously they've been able to keep Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Who is literally England's future captain, let's be honest. He's going to be, So I like them as well. I want to talk about the bottom lot, and I hate doing this, teams that are going to get relegated, but look, 3 teams will go down, it's inevitable.
It's a fact.
Do you look at the 3 teams that have come up, or do you think someone from the Premier League, sort of old school, might be dragged into it?
I think you always have to look at the 3 that come up. They're all, 2 of them are almost going to go.
Yeah.
And that's just years, in the past.
That's a fact, actually. You're right, isn't it? Every 3 that go up, 2 go down.
Pretty much, So, but one team that find it, might get a couple of good signings that know the league, because that's a difference. Because, again, no disrespect to the Championship, but it's a big difference to the Premier League.
Massive gap.
Yeah.
So it's getting bigger.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously they don't have the budgets to compete with even the teams in the half, the bottom half of the Prem. So I think they need to be shrewd in terms of signing some older senior players that know the league, that know how to just roll their sleeves up and get a result, not trying to be a bit, like this is the way we play, this is what we're going to do, and then get smashed every week. There's no point. You need to win games. So I think the ones that are open-minded in terms of how they need to play, are the ones with a better chance.
I want to play a game with you. Start, sub, sell, or get rid of.
Yeah.
3 defenders. So pick your forte. Won't be easy. Van Dijk, Rio Ferdinand, John Terry. I was going to chuck Company in there, but I've no spot for him. So those 3.
JT, Rio, and
Van Dijk.
Oh wow.
1 start, 1 sub, 1 get rid of.
Oh my God. That's almost impossible.
You played for England with Rio and JT, so you know them very well. You played against them. And Van Dijk's obviously, I guess, closed the gap because he's been so good for Liverpool.
Yeah. The more I'm thinking about it, I'm changing it. I can argue every single one of them. I think to start, then I'd have to go JT.
Oh, interesting, yeah. You played with him at Chelsea. What kind of captain player was he?
Yeah, it's just like the first sort of defender of that type.
Right.
Rio.
Tony Adams, maybe, a bit like him? Put his head in,
but I think even JT was just better on the ball. He's much better on the ball than people give him credit for. But he'd always be there to block, and he'd always get big goals. Listen, the others can as well. You know what I mean? Like now I'm thinking like Rio is another top defender, and obviously we don't even need to speak about Van Dijk, right? Yeah. So I'll probably start JT.
Start JT. Scored loads of goals, JT, as well. Loads of goals. Yeah. More goals than most midfielders. So you're subbing. He's on the bench. You picked a good one,
so
Jim.
This is going to sound mad. I'm going to have to say Van Dijk.
On the bench?
Yeah.
So Rio, you get rid of
Rio. Exactly, which is ridiculous. Which, you're talking about one of the best centre-halves there's ever been. But the other 2 are just as good.
How good is Van Dijk? I mean, you obviously watched a lot of Liverpool. You're watching him, and before he came, no disrespect to the defenders that were there, Lovren and your Matips and even your Gomez's, you felt like there was a mistake everywhere. Like Liverpool were getting done at corners. He came in and literally just sharp shop. And I remember Troy Deeney speaking about him, and Troy Deeney was asked, how good is he? And he says, well, he's bigger than me, he's stronger than me, and he's faster than me. There's not much I can do.
Well, the thing is with players like that, what Van Dijk does to everyone around him, you can see the confidence in him. You know he's going to win the header. You know he's going to be, and because he's so calm when he's defending, everyone else around him's calm, and that's exactly what JT done. And to be fair, Rio did as well.
Yeah.
But you know, for me, I played a lot with JT, and there'd be times when I've just been on an overlap, we've lost the ball, someone's trying to ping it in behind me, and I'm seeing JT already in the line of the header, so I'm just jogging, thinking I don't need to get back.
Because
I know he's going to head it straight to me.
Wow.
And then now I'm 20 yards further up, and I'm back on the ball, and we're off again.
That much confidence.
Yeah.
And that must be what Trent has with Van Dijk.
Exactly.
Because Trent's already bombing on
Exactly.
when there's almost defensive work to do, because he knows Van Dijk's going to handle
get it,
this.
and he's going to give it to him.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
And you're selling Rio.
Which sounds bonkers. Yeah. I don't want to sell Rio, by the way.
You're selling Rio.
I don't want to sell him at all. Listen, I'd love to have played at club level with Rio.
Yeah.
He's a top player. Obviously, I was lucky enough to play with him for England for a few years.
What was he like? What was he like? I look at him now, he's very vocal, but was he like that back as a player as well?
Yeah, not crazy vocal on the pitch, but again, he was always the same stature, calm, big, great on the ball. In fact, he's probably the best one on the ball out of all of them.
Yeah, agreed.
But because of that, he'd like to stay on the ball. You know, whereas a right back, you said just get it and give it to me, and then we can get going. But he'd want to stay on the ball, but he was very good at it. So you couldn't take that away from him, because that was his game. You know.
Who wins the league, Glenn?
I think it's hard to go past City. Obviously, it hurts me to say it.
Yeah. Did you not see my grimace on my face?
Yeah, well, exactly. I don't want to say it, but I think if we're all honest, I think their squad's amazing. They've just got a top player that's going to kick them forward. I just think it's going to be really tough for anyone every week to compete with that, because they can win football matches when they're 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Everyone else has got to be 8 out of 10, and that's hard to do.
Do you think that they don't get their respect, like City? Like when I think of Man City, and look, if they do win the league, they're going to win it 4 out of 5 times. It's going to be 5 out of 6. They could just keep on doing it as long as Pep's there. I almost feel like their players don't get the respect, though. And when everyone does sort of a Premier League all-time 11, I don't think people mention Man City players. I think they should be mentioning Aguero and Yaya and Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the association with having bought the title, which still kind of mars people's beliefs about them.
Yeah, possibly. Like obviously the trophy cabinets at Liverpool and United are clearly much more impressive. But if we're talking about the team right now, then yes, of course, like I say, they're bigger football clubs at the moment. But I think City are going to be there one day.
Yeah.
But right now, because we're living in it and we're in the moment, people don't quite like it. But I think when people are in 30 years' time honest and looking back, they're going to agree that the team's pretty decent.
We'll give them the respect indeed, as we will give yours. Glenn, top man, brother.
No worries, mate.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.